But first, it is primary election day in Ohio. We have team coverage from all across the state in this race for the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate, other races that'll have an effect on the Buckeye State as well. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rob Powers. We have your election coverage. We get right to it. In the race for the U.S. Senate Republican nomination, Bernie Moreno is now the nominee. Moreno, endorsed by former President Donald Trump, defeating Matt Dolan and Secretary of State Frank LaRose. So he will face off against incumbent Democrat Senator Sherrod Brown, who ran unopposed. News 5's John Kosick in Westlake with the Moreno camp tonight. John.
Hey, Rob, a celebratory night for sure here at the Westlake Lounge watch party for Bernie Moreno. This is really the fulfillment of a dream for him that started some 52 years ago when he arrived as a 5-year-old from Columbia. You'll remember he ran for the Senate 2 years ago, but dropped out 3 months before the election, the primary election, at the urging of President Trump, who felt there were too many pro-Trump candidates in the race. Well, he proved himself to be the recipient of that loyalty, winning the Trump endorsement. That, for the second time in 2 years, is the led to the winning the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate and the right to challenge, in this case, Sherrod Brown in November. The 57-year-old businessman addressing the supporters here in Westlake a short time ago, thanking his family, the voters, President Trump, of course, and even his opponents in this heated race.
You know, one of the things that we do as Republicans is we have spirited debates. Now, maybe it's like a little too spirited. Could have been a little less spirited, all right? But we have spirited debates, and that's okay. That's okay, because as of today, I also spoke to State Senator Matt Dolan. Matt congratulated me very graciously. And I think what we have to do now is, as a fully united party, understand we have one mission, which is to get rid of Sherrod Brown.
And Moreno mentioning there Matt Dolan. He also thanked Frank LaRose for his service to the country as a Green Beret. Remember, these two were vying for that far-right Trump lane in this primary early on, but the former president's endorsement looming too large in this race. Our Morgan Trout is in Columbus, where Frank LaRose gathered with his supporters this evening. She joins us now live with that part of the story. Morgan.
Thanks, John. Yeah, it was not as lively as Secretary of State Frank LaRose's watch party. Obviously, he's disappointed, but he says that the fight goes on. He's finishing up with about 17% of the vote, falling significantly behind both winner Moreno and Dolan. And this is an especially interesting race for LaRose because he is the only candidate in it that ever held a statewide office. But he was at a disadvantage financially. Unlike the others, LaRose is not a multimillionaire and hasn't self-funded his campaign. He was $7, $8, $9 million behind both Dolan and Moreno. As we all know, that money is key in campaigning, which LaRose acknowledged was a factor in the loss.
It's obvious that tonight was not my opportunity to be the Republican nominee for United States Senate, but it was an honor to be considered for that.
LaRose says that he will support Moreno in defeating Sherrod Brown. But for now, he's just going to continue on keeping our elections as well as they can be. Reporting live in Columbus, I'm Morgan Trout.
All right, Morgan, we thank you. But hang on just a second. We're going to come back to you in just a bit. Matt Dolan came in second in this race for the GOP nomination. That's where we find News 5's Joe Paganakis in Independence tonight. And Joe, this was a disappointing end to the campaign for Dolan.
Well, Rob, as you might guess, it's a very quiet watch party here for U.S. candidate Matt Dolan right here at L.A. Pete's Restaurant in the city of Independence. As a matter of fact, they're about ready to shut things down. That's why we're outside here. Ohio State Senator Matt Dolan, as you know, coming up short tonight with the race called in favor of former President Donald Trump-backed Bernie Moreno at about 8:35 this evening, with far less than 50% of the vote counted. Early on, this evening, with just 15% of the vote in, Matt Dolan was holding his own in a close race up by 1%. But when Moreno took a double-digit lead, Dolan came out to give a concession speech at around 9:30 this evening. Dolan took the time to thank Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and U.S. Senator Rob Portman for their key endorsements of his campaign, but in the end, it was not enough.
And to have the quality of a Rob Portman and the quality of a Mike DeWine to look at this race and say they're willing to put their years of experience behind me. It's a sad loss tonight, but it's a personal pride that Rob and Mike DeWine reached out for me.
When asked, Dolan acknowledged that Moreno got a huge boost by the endorsement he received from former President Donald Trump. A number of polls showed Moreno surging after a Moreno rally led by Trump in Dayton this past Saturday. Dolan said he called Moreno to congratulate him on the victory and wished him well against Democratic incumbent Sherrod Brown coming up in November. But again, Rob, a very quiet situation here at the watch party for candidate Matt Dolan tonight in Independence. Back to you in the studio.
Joe Paganakis reporting live tonight. A very busy night. The presidential primary also on this ballot. President Biden winning in Ohio over Dean Phillips, who suspended his campaign earlier this month. Former President Trump winning on the Republican side. Every candidate opposing him suspended their campaigns as well. In Cuyahoga County, voters overwhelmingly passing a renewal for the Health and Human Services levy. It's used for a variety of things like emergency housing, children's programming, addiction, and mental health resources as well. And this is where we bring in Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trow one more time. She's in the state capitol. Morgan, other races you're keeping a close eye on that could change Ohio politics in the long run.
Yes, Rob, there were about 15 races in the Ohio State House that were a bit crazy tonight. People were trying to oust House Speaker Jason Stephens, which would have made the state significantly more conservative. But luckily for Speaker Stephens, that didn't happen. He could only afford to lose 4 seats, and that was all he lost.